You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she happy. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a top in it. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the DNA Podcast. It's your boy D.
It's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
This week we're finally on top of some real shit. We just got back from seeing the new Batman movie and it was lit. My immediate thoughts before we delve into something, I think it's the second best live action Batman I've seen and it could possibly be the first. Need to see it again. I like to see stuff 2 or 3 times before I make verdicts.
Yeah, this is a tough one to say. I think it is the best Batman. It's the best Batman we've ever had, I think. Like, character Batman. In a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best Batman movie just because, the Joker in The Dark Knight is top tier. But I think it is up there. Quite up there.
I took my little notes during the movie and I delved it up into a few separate categories, characters, plot, and just overall theme. And from there, characters, I guess we'll go with the titular character, Batman. You remember a while back, I tell you how superhero movies fail because the movie, you would always be without the mask longer than what you are. So you got to be a good, unmasked hero first. Mm-hmm. I think Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, he played Batman really well.
I think he's okay Bruce Wayne, but they went around what I said. He was Batman for 85% of the movie.
Yeah.
So,
but in this version of Batman, he's the Batman that's like overly dedicated to being Batman, if that makes sense. He doesn't have an outside life outside of Batman.
And the verdict, maybe as we talk about, I come down with a verdict that I can go with, but it makes sense. I don't know why they went with year 2 instead of year 1. Like, that made a huge difference. Like, you could tell that he's green. From the opening fight scene, he almost got beat by regular goons. Didn't almost get beat, but he takes more hits than what you think Batman should. Mm-hmm. But then when it's, I'm going into year 2. Oh, you're still getting the hang of this. And it makes sense why he has not perfected work and social life. Because, and we know Batman to be like, and more or less like Robert Downey. He's a philanthropist. He's this. He hasn't
became that yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do both. He only knows how to do
one at a time.
The Batman stuff. Yeah. And he's still kind of shaky at doing that. But I love that. I love that this is the beginning. We don't see, we just didn't hop into the refined version.
The middle of the storyline.
So he played the shit out of it. I think he is the best Batman. Mm-hmm. It's just something about the cowl. 2 things about that Batman that I will get to that I hate. It's something about the cowl with the cape makes it look kind of cheap. I don't know how to explain it.
Like his mask looks rubbery in a weird way.
Yeah, like it.
But I guess it has to be so it can fit over his face, right?
And I think the cape. I think the problem I have is they've made the cape like one of the circular capes that you put on, as opposed to Batman normally just has it stitched to the back of the suit. Yeah. But I guess, there's a reason for it somewhere. I mean, stylistically.
It's just how they made his costume and, that's not really that wasn't a deal breaker for me. I didn't like how the cape looked on him. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not a deal breaker, so whatever.
And they used a bunch of references here. For once, me watching a bunch of one thing matters because I've seen every single reference. They reference the Arkham games a lot. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I wish they would have done, wish they would have made the goddamn mask kind of mechanical, if that makes sense.
Well, I think they made it kind of more basic just because he's not that deep in yet.
That's true. Between just for plot before we get there, there's too many times where he blacked out. It would only make sense if the mask was, mechanical and only he could take it off.
Yeah.
It would make sense. Like, he blacked out so many times. Why did y'all just yank that motherfucker off if y'all are so anxious and so gun shy about it? Why didn't y'all just yank it off when you had the nigga was unconscious so long that you moved his body from point A to point B?
Yeah.
But that's the mask not being mechanical is not a deal breaker. I just think it fills in a little. It makes a plot inconvenience more subtle if that makes sense. But all in all, give it a check. He's a way better Batman to me than Christian Bale.
Yeah, he's better than Christian Bale.
Yeah, and I also like that he's young too. I was going to deduct points for him having that fucking emo teen hair.
Yeah,
but this is a young Bruce, so he's going through that emo teen phase. When he gets older, he's probably going to cut it down. Like how we know Bruce too, cut his hair. So it makes sense that he's a wild kid.
I didn't like his hair.
I
thought he looked weird.
He looks like a whiny punk.
Yeah.
But more or less that's kind of what he
is.
Yeah. And that's why I was like,
at this point, yeah.
It's great that they framed it year 2. If this was year 10, unacceptable. He's getting used to it. Makes sense why Alfred had a bunch of hair too. We didn't see him get out the hospital, but I'm pretty sure the explosion burned off all of his hair. We never seen him leave, but I'm going to.
He had his hair in the hospital bed.
He did?
Yeah.
I thought he was bandaged up.
He had a bandage on the side of his face, but it wasn't his whole head.
Well, since I brought him up, Alfred didn't like Alfred at first, but I ended up liking him more towards the end. For me,
also, I don't think this is Batman before he goes sees Ra's al Ghul, right? This is probably before Ra's al Ghul, or they might not even do that. But.
It goes back and forth because he sees in normal Batman lineage, he sees Ra's al Ghul before he becomes Batman. That's how he always knows. That's how Ra's always knows who Batman is. Yeah. So he could have, he couldn't have, but for the sake of it, let's say we know that he hasn't seen Ra's yet. Based off the way he's acting,
because how they're saying it is like Alfred's the one who taught him how to fight, which is technically kind of true, right?
Yeah.
In storyline,
Alfred is typically, especially now. I don't know if it was this way like 20 years ago, but Alfred is now more or less an ex-military guy, so he has background in fighting. And it makes sense. In the beginning, it was a weird dynamic that I didn't like. But as the movie progressed, and we will get to that plot, because that plot is huge, okay, it makes sense, and it's time. What makes this a good movie is that they did not leave anything up in the air. They tied it all.
Yeah, everything was resolved by the end of the movie. There was no cliffhangers or loose ends, really. Now, I guess there was a little bit of a cliffhanger.
It was a good cliffhanger.
But it was done right and done well.
Yeah. To his counterpart, his sidekick in the movie, Catwoman, played by Zoe Kravitz. She did the best Catwoman I've seen ever depicted. Yeah.
She's the most convincing as a Catwoman. And is also early Catwoman. She hasn't taken up the name of Catwoman yet, technically.
It's weird. And I like this part. Most heroes don't name themselves. Or if they do, nobody ever picks it up because, like, what are you going to do? Go to the media outlet and, oh yeah, this is who I am.
Batman. Yeah.
But I don't know if you really, not saying that you didn't, but I don't know if you noticed, she walked perfectly like Catwoman too. I could tell that she was trying hard to do it, but like the way she walks in comics and in cartoons isn't a natural walk. So I could tell Zoe Kravitz was trying hard, and I like that homage. I like the subtle details of, damn, you got the walk there. You could easily just walk normal.
It wasn't as cheesy as when Halle Berry did it.
Oh, yeah. Look, she was so when I seen her, she reminded me of Halle Berry, not in a bad way. She's everything that Halle Berry wanted to be. But that was, that was 2004. They didn't know how to make hero movies back then. Yeah. Like, that's just the God's honest truth.
The formula was not there yet.
Yeah. So, I thought I wasn't going to like Catwoman that much in it. She has great backstory. played the shit out of that role. I heard that there's a Catwoman movie coming out. I don't know if it's based off of this or if it's just another random standalone.
They definitely should. They definitely should put it in the same universe.
Part of me think it is because she split up and went to Bloodhaven. I love that they did that. They built a world around it. Oh yeah, she can do her Catwoman shit in Bloodhaven. That way that she's not constantly overshadowed by Batman.
And then eventually when Batman has another movie, they're going to bring her back and be a love interest, but also a crime suspect. And then they're going to build that side of the storyline.
Yep. So, A+, like, no complaints here. Go down to Jim Gordon. Played the shit out of it. I'm saying this about everybody, but nobody in this movie played their role bad.
Yeah.
Of course, if we did a definitive ranking, somebody has to be at the bottom, but the bottom of the list is still A+, well, A acting. And Jim Gordon, I liked him. Yeah. I thought he was a bit cheesy at first.
But that's how Jim Gordon is, though.
Yeah.
Jim Gordon is the he's willing to bend the rules for Batman and like to get the job done, but at the same time, he's very by the book, and that's his character.
And they showed the dynamic of Batman and Jim very well. Jim had all the faith in the world in Batman. This movie was made to show why he has more faith in Batman than his own guys. Because, well, I can't really trust them motherfuckers now, can I? Yeah, it's solid. I can't wait to see him back. Head over to the Penguin. Don't know who played him. This is something else like that I noticed early, and I like. This is the Penguin before he became huge mob boss Penguin, which they alluded to at the end.
Yeah.
He's just a nightclub guy, so he doesn't really have moxie. He really doesn't have all that. He still does have a little bit of charisma, but he's not full of himself like what he's going to be when he takes over the mob. And generally, I like the dynamic between him and Batman because Batman has no reason to arrest him because he theoretically hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, not yet. Like you are definitely connected to like some heavy drug selling and he's connected to the mob, but like that's not something Batman can really beat you up for in a weird way.
And there's bigger fish to fry.
There's bigger fish to fry in this, and you're more valuable to you be in this storyline than being locked up.
And this sets up. I used to hate sometimes in other Batman attitudes. Didn't hate it, but I would understand that Batman would have the utmost faith in going to the Penguin. You know, just fight scene, he knock out his goons, then just talk to Penguin with no issue. But it's like now they have a relationship now. The Penguin, for as much as he did in this movie, respects Batman. Batman respects Penguin. So, like, if in the next movie he needs information, he's going to go back to the Penguin again. Has given him information before. And so, like, it's already established. And it was done in a great way. He got kidnapped, got beat up, but then figured out, damn, kidnapped the wrong motherfucker. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you walk. Well, I gotta let you walk because I kidnapped your ass. But
I mean, but they did catch him selling drugs. It's not like they did, and he had a dead body in this corner. It's not like he didn't do it.
Oh yeah, well,
they could have easily took him to jail.
Well, we could have took you out for this, but we need you free to get more information so we can kidnap you again. But solid performance. The Riddler. Didn't I know how I was going to like it?
Yeah.
I seen how he looked beforehand.
Oh, you saw his face beforehand?
Not the face,
the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really like the mask.
I did not at first. I wish.
It was very much giving me. The mask was giving me. Like a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it's like a leather mask.
Who's giving me Gimp? I think that's what he was supposed to. I think that's dead ass what it was supposed to be. But it was giving me Gimp vibes. I would have liked it.
It also was giving me like kind of like Scarecrow vibes, but it's not the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the Scarecrow is a mask, so like that's what it was giving me. But at the same time,
I wish they would have wore them. I wish they would have made the outfit just throw up green, or like a super dark version of green. Now,
his mask was really dark green though.
It was? I thought that shit was black.
No, it was dark green. And I know the movie was real fucking dark, so you couldn't tell, but it was dark green.
I was about to say, and for appeal, they couldn't use the same light green that they do because they were going for a darker tone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, maybe just have made him green so, he's the Riddler. If you did not give him a name, well, he was doing riddles. But, like, if you take away the rhyming, you can't really tell who the fuck the nigga is.
We called him for the Riddler, too.
Well, he did, but, like, take away the rhyme, and it's like, damn. But it grew on me. It grew on me at the end when they turned out to be like a terrorist group. They're not really a group. They were just followers.
Yeah, followers.
But it's like, the outfit worked then, and then he's still a young Riddler. So for all we know, and this is what I also like, maybe year 5, that's when he adopts the light outfit, green. Yeah. Because he's more established in what he's doing.
Because, he's going to be hanging out with another big bad, so maybe he gets more crazy.
Oh, for facts.
More out in the open with it.
Just breeze past a few people. They're not huge, but then they are huge. Falcone. I wasn't paying him much attention.
Is that an actual character in Batman? See, I that's something I actually didn't know the answer of.
Everybody minus the DAs or all the police officers are all established people. Maybe the police officers are established people, but I don't pay attention to them pigs in comics.
Other than Commissioner Gordon?
Sometimes I forget his name. The Savage guy, though, the second guy who died, the fat nigga, I thought he was Harvey Dent. Surprised me. I thought because Harvey Dent's name changed in media sometimes. Don't know why, but like sometimes his name is to change. For all I know, he probably was Peter Savage, but the way they killed him, nah, they can't be Harvey Dent. They did that nigga dirty. But Falcone was straight. He played his part for what it was. He wasn't on screen long.
I don't remember his name, but he's actually one of my favorite actors. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's played some other stuff, and I love him. Yeah. Every time I see him in a movie, it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be good. He's gonna play his role well.
One of the reveals in the plots that we get to, he's Catwoman's father. That nigga looked like it could be her father in real life. Casting was pretty damn good on that. It was, what? Yeah, that nigga could be your daddy.
Italian guy, a mixed girl. Yeah. Easily could have been. Yeah, it also would make sense why they wouldn't claim him because Italians are kind of racist.
I swear to God. Yeah, all-star cast with the people they picked. I will admit I was a little skeptical when they got the Twilight guy, and I heard reports coming out that he was playing the hell out of it. But if you're helping with the movie, what you gonna say? That nigga suck? Nigga, you helping with the movie? You trying to get paid your damn self?
But if it was, I've heard of some movies that weren't good, and people knew they weren't good, and just didn't comment. If you don't say nothing,
I'm okay with no comments either. But you ain't gonna come out and say that motherfucker suck.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna say that. But it's a good movie. It's not a good movie.
You got anything else to touch on characters? Anything that stood out? Your favorite?
Favorite? I think it's probably Bats. It's probably Patterson. Patterson's probably the best and most compelling character in the series. Maybe Batman's dad.
Another influence from another source. His dad being a bad guy is a relatively new thing, and that comes from the Joker movie. In the Joker movie, he was a scumbag that paraded around as a good guy. But in this movie, turns out that he was a good guy that made a scumbag move. But like,
he was just trying to protect his wife and his son.
True.
He made a bad choice, and that's something that you could easily see a good person doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's relatable in the sense of good people do bad stuff sometimes.
And it put the death on Batman more pungent. It makes the death that they gave Patterson's Batman in one movie, it establishes why he does what he does. Now it makes sense. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it don't make sense why he doesn't kill all these years. Yeah, he should have been and smoked the Joker. He has a reason for not doing it. We know, we know the reason, but it's just like, man, just go ahead and smoke that. Who cares? But watching this movie is like hearing about his dad. There's a bunch of there's no real. Go back to my point. There's no real such thing as good or bad. Like, those are just ideal. good people do bad things, some bad people do good things. So like, all this makes for his character to where, oh yeah, there's no need to kill, because like, that makes me no different than these motherfuckers, and it's just like, it's all good. It all built for the good character. That shit with his dad was A1. It was like, damn, they really fucked him up.
That was a good reveal. And then when he goes to see the mob boss, and the mob boss is telling him, he is shook to the core.
That was probably one of the hardest scenes in that motherfucker. Like, if you think long and hard, he had no reason why he couldn't have been Batman and done the same thing and got the same answers. Like, of course, there would have been a brawl, and he would have had to rough him up a little bit, but he still could have got the same answers. He was like, you know what? I'm going to pull up in that bitch like Bruce Wayne. Like, I'm just going to pull up how I am and get the answers that way. And it was like, that's hard. That's like, you had every reason. Plus, that nigga knew where that damn window was. He could have easily busted through that window before. God damn it.
I actually don't know why he didn't go the entrance the first time.
There's a little hole to me to where when he goes to save Catwoman, why did you go through all this?
To the front door.
Yeah. And like, you cut off the lights and shit, which is a good move. Bro, you should just bust it through that window. Like, but he's green. He's green. You can chalk up to all his mistakes to being green.
Also, you gotta chalk it up to writing and cinematic value. Because it's a great scene when he's in that dark hallway and all the gunshots are going on.
Oh, that shit was...
Yeah.
That reminds me of...
It's a great scene.
You remember the Star Wars movie where...
Darth Vader?
That motherfucker...
That's Rogue One.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you heard his breathing. It's just like... body's about to hit the floor.
I think that scene is not a direct rip, but it's a homage. It's a homage to it. I guarantee.
Because it was exactly the same. Like, it literally, they flashed the lights. I think somebody shot it. It was like, oh, they about to get you down, boy. He about to get you down. And I like, that's a trope. Well, I guess everything gets old. If they do it again in the next Batman movie, or if another dark character, Black Panther does that, I'm not gonna get mad, because like that's a good trope. That's pretty much a horror film-esque trope, but in a superhero movie. But yeah, Batman by far away. If you left that movie and you don't like the Batman, there's something wrong with you. You probably didn't like him going into it.
And everybody on this podcast knows I am not a Batman fan.
Yeah, that nigga be hating.
Nah, I hate that. They think his character is weak.
But fire. To switch over to the story, which is the main sticking point. I think everything is excellent. This story is so good that I think with a lesser cast, it would still be told good. But the cast made that. Like,
the cast sold it. Yeah, you easily could have had a worse Riddler, a worse Batman, a worse Commissioner Gordon, and still
the story would have
carried the movie along.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story was good, and it had twists and turns, like a good Riddler story should. It even though I saw from the first person, and when it said lies, I already knew where the story was going, but it had plenty of twists and turns in it that still kept you on your feet, if that makes sense.
It tricked me at a few key points. The main key point was I figured right away when they said rat with wings, I thought it was the penguin. Like, I thought it was the penguin. And it was like, yeah, it makes sense. The penguin snitched on Good Buddy, and the penguin's about to make this come up. Damn, that nigga didn't snitch. You got me there, and I thought, well, I would have hated this. But when he saw...
well, I thought he was talking about a rat with wings. I thought he was talking about the bat. He was kind of talking about the bat in a weird way. But,
yeah.
I thought he was talking about Batman. And
then when they were in his house and they saw that picture of young him with Tom and Martha Wayne, I thought they was about to, damn, these niggas brothers. And then they done abandoned that nigga. I just knew that was going to be it.
For a second, I was like, is that Bruce Wayne's illegitimate son?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Glad they didn't go down that route. But
that would have been, I was like, oh.
That would have really y'all really took this bitch sideways. But
now, what would have been interesting if they make the Joker that motherfucker's illegitimate son, and that's why they're both so fucking smart.
And it's for the fact that the Joker's already in prison. Mm-hmm. So we don't even know how he got there. So did he already have an encounter with Batman? Yeah. Or was he, has that nigga been so bad shit crazy, been in that bitch for like 20 years, and he just had a reason to, damn, there's a bat out there whooping niggas' asses? Let me go ahead and get active then. Let me go ahead.
I've been chilling doing sit-ups. Let me go ahead and get at him.
In the adaptations where they humanize the Joker, the Joker's backstory, he's normally a henchman of Falcone. Mm-hmm. So all the ones where you seen that he was like a hitman at first, he's working under Falcone. I thought that they were going to reference that. I don't know what the Joker's real name is. I don't know what one of the identity names are.
It's something real. It's something real basic. I remember that. It's something like forgettable.
Yeah. So it was like I was looking for him to reference. I was looking for them to
drop his name.
That or put an emphasis on one of these random thugs. Mm-hmm. To where it's just like, bro, why y'all keep showing the same nigga? But then just later on, it'll mean something, but then they already locked up. So what I'm saying probably could have happened years. Yeah. This is like 20 years in the making, basically. So it could have happened, but the Riddler did. I did not think the Riddler could be as entertaining.
Didn't Batman indirectly make the Joker? Isn't that why they're so intertwined? Yeah. So we'll see.
But the Riddler, I didn't think that nigga was really going to be that entertaining. I know what the Riddler can do, and like everybody knows that he's smart. They know that he even gives Bruce Wayne a run for his money. I just didn't think they was going to make. I didn't think they was going to be able to make a story that makes sense out of it, while being entertaining, just with him. And he's dead ass. He's the key. He's the key antagonist through the whole thing, and he's also like an anti-hero in a weird way. He's like he's not bad because he's going after bad people, but what you're doing is still evil. And then he floods the city, so it's like he's mad. That's what it is. That flooding the city thing kind of got me out of nowhere. That's one of those superhero tropes in movies where like the way they arrested the Riddler, I expected for a bigger fight to happen and Batman whoop his ass. Not they just picked that nigga up at the.
Well, but that's kind of part of his character. Is that he's not a fighter. He's a thinker.
He doesn't fight for shit.
He doesn't fight for shit. But he will beat you over the head when you're not looking.
And so that's why I was just like, damn, they're not even gonna let that nigga hit that nigga once. Like, damn. So I was like, you can't end a movie like that. If Batman was real per se, that probably would have been the end of the adventure, arresting the Riddler like that. But we had to go. We had to turn the superhero nonsense up to 100. This nigga done blew a damn dams all across.
You got the fucking seawall.
You got a terrorist group ready to snipe niggas at the holy site.
No, what's funny about the blowing the seawall thing? If you didn't notice, throughout the movie they kept showing the seawall.
Oh, I actually did. I didn't know it was a seawall for the longest time.
Yeah, every now and then there was a scene that would show the seawall, and it'll show you the water on the other side. But I was like, okay, they're by the ocean front. They're by
just doing good transition.
But they were foreshadowing A-Dog.
Bro, I bet you in some of those scenes they got that nigga out there. I bet if they slow that bitch down, that nigga like in the background just doing shit. But we don't know that it's him because we don't know what he looks like without the mask.
Yep.
For the longest time, like that's one of those things that I wouldn't be surprised if. Oh, these are spoilers that you or Easter eggs that you missed. I knew it was some shit I couldn't see right there.
Yeah, I'll go to New Media Rockstar after this. I'll watch it.
But he was cool, calm, collected. He was probably the perfect Riddler. He wasn't. The Riddler have like a funny streak to him. He wasn't funny, but for what they were going for, he worked the shit out of it. Mm-hmm.
It's a more serious toned Riddler, and he's more insane than he usually is. If that makes sense. Like he's more on the crazy side than he is on the goofy side of the spectrum of the character.
I love the story emphasis on crooked cops. Because it also builds the character of Batman on why he doesn't trust too many people. Like, this whole thing proved, like, he can't trust these cops. Literally the highest cops we're all in all this lies, this and that. His own dad kind of his dad doing what he did jump started all of this. Basically. Like, not even basic, that's
Definitely what happened.
yeah. So I love it that there's the overall theme of the police don't trust Batman for jealous reasons, but Batman don't trust them for legitimate reasons.
So I maybe I just never caught this about his parents. I didn't know that his mom's family name is Arkham. And that's why it's Arkham Asylum.
Nah, bro, that's made up for this one.
That's made up for this one. I was like, is that deep? That's deep.
And that shit's fire. Don't get me wrong. But like Arkham, it makes sense why so much stuff is called Arkham now and that. So I'm not doubting that there wasn't a family before, but I had never heard of no fucking family called Arkham. Like that ain't never come up before. And so like if they made,
I guarantee that's in a fucking comic book somewhere.
For facts, yeah. And even if it's just like a one-off in a comic book, y'all did y'all's damn thing with that, y'all.
And that's why it's Arkham Asylum is also why her family definitely has a history of mental illness, and that's why they have an asylum.
I just thought that they named one of the most famous monuments. They're crazy.
That's why they have one.
Bro, I'm calling it now. The Joker is related to him. Because guess who's the guy with the biggest mental illness? And the damn
For sure, that's his uncle some shit.
Yeah, it's bro, you just did some shit. This is shit that when I have to see the movie 2 or 3 times to get on my own.
No, I don't know this for sure, but they said her mama killed her dad, then killed herself.
And they covered that all up.
And then she was in and out of the asylum because of that.
Yep.
Bro, it's called Arkham Asylum because they built it.
Yeah. Bro, that's wild. That's, mind y'all, we are not making it up. This is just a revelation in the moment.
Well, I noticed it in the movie, but I was like, there's something to talk about.
Bro, I told you, it's like, I noticed it, but it's just like, oh yeah, famous building, famous family. Like, I noticed it as, oh, they called him Arkham. That's why they named the asylum that, because they needed a name, and they went with one of the founding people. Oh, it went a little bit deeper than they went over my head. That's fire. I think it was kind of cheesy that Falcone was like, superhero movies got to do superhero things. Bro, what the nigga choke the Selena Kyle's mama out for? They had to do that. I'm going to call this the 8 Mile effect, because I recently brought to people that an 8 Mile Papa Doc did nothing wrong to deserve as much vitriol as he get. He literally did nothing to anybody. But he's the main villain just because that's what we're told. When we're looking at it from Rabbit's perspective. So from the 8 Mile...
yeah. Because B-Rabbit is the hero. So he has to have a nemesis.
Yeah. So with the 8 Mile effect that was going to happen, Falcone did nothing wrong until, like, of course he did stuff wrong in the past and that was coming to light. Mm-hmm. But like, he easily could have killed Bruce when he did whatever. Like, he had no reason to give out that information for under any circumstance.
Well, he really didn't give him all the information. He gave him a version of the truth.
And well, he lied at the end.
Yeah, he lied at the end. He told most of it.
He treated Selena Kyle right for the most part. When she came in just to talk or whatever. No, he probably would have got her killed or whatever. But she was the aggressor. So him trying to kill her is slightly justified.
But you also know that's your daughter now. But then
I don't think he knew that. Like,
no, because she was like, "Hey, Dad."
Then
I'm the daughter of yada yada yada.
Yeah. I'm about to say. I thought
he looked shook. He was like, "Damn." And then he goes and say, I gotta kill you just like your mama.
That's the 8 Mile effect I'm going on. Like, they got rid of that on purpose. Why did he do that? Well, like, y'all made him do it just to make him even more ass.
Because she was black and he's Italian. That's exactly why.
I get what you mean, but like, so Selena Kyle was old enough to remember, going to the club or whatever. Mm-hmm. So let's assume that, I think she said her age.
7.
But she was 7. So for 7 years you didn't do it. So year 8, just year 8 made you snap. Like, damn, that black bitch gonna get on my ass.
Maybe he kills her because she's trying to like blackmail him, get money out of him, whatever.
That'd be stupid on her part. I'm not even saying that's not that was
know,
stupid on her part.
When you get desperate, you do desperate things.
Yeah. So, like, they pulled that quickly. A whole lot of stuff happened quickly to make that nigga super bad. He was bad, but he was super bad.
You can also tell strangling is his favorite way to kill niggas.
Swear to God.
Of these bitches. You know what I'm saying? He strangled all the women in his life.
Bro, strangled the mom. And it wasn't even him. It wasn't even
the friend.
It wasn't even him that did it. They just strangled them girls.
Nah, I think
the guy whose ass she was whooping when she flashed the bat signal, that was him. That's why she played the phone call.
He was there for it then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they love strangling bitches in them. I don't know how we skirted past this. This movie was much darker than what they advertised.
Oh yeah.
So like what we're saying now, and people, and when y'all hear, it's like, damn, they strangling bitches. Yeah, they ain't strangling bitches. They putting them to sleep.
Now it is not gory in the least. I don't think you see basically any blood,
and you don't really see the strangling. You see the one towards the end, but he doesn't kill Catwoman.
Yeah.
So does it? You see a near strangle. You see an attempted strangle.
Now you hear a full on one.
Yeah. And then that phone call was gruesome.
Yeah. The phone call shook. Will have you shook.
It's literally her begging to leave. Her friend Annika, who went with the mayor, and the mayor told all the secrets to. Her friend Annika was begging to leave. She's begging. I think his name was like Curly. I think it's Curly. I don't give a fuck. She begging him to. Oh, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna say nothing. Whoop de whoop. She fell into the trap of just tell me what you know. You can go. She tells him She tells him what she knows, and he just like and you hear the fight ensue, and you hear her gasping for air, and that's when Jim Gordon, he's strangling her. Like that was hard. That was kind of hard to watch. It was damn. Yeah, that shit was lit.
All right, so I saw one inconsistency. Well, not really inconsistency. It's just kind of fucked up. So, Batman and the Penguin are on a high-speed chase. Penguin causes a fucking 45-car pileup. 3 semi-trucks and a tanker all blows up. Batman left them niggas to die.
So, it is a weird inconsistency, and me trying to prove this is just me being a Batman fanboy. But like, so this is no bullshit. You're right. You're 100% true. But he had to take flight so he wouldn't be part of it. Them niggas are dead. I do get exactly what you mean. It is fucked up.
I'm just saying.
But was he supposed to stay?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe he should have gave them his insurance policy. I don't know.
That was some crazy shit. That is for the fact of like. That little scene, I like the fact that they set the car on fire to let you know that nigga just barely made it. He just barely made it. Bro, if you would have took one more second, that bitch would have been on fire. That whole little what was that bitch, a Mustang?
I don't know what the base car that was. I think that's a Challenger with a fucking tank engine in it. I think it has 2 engines in it. That's the funny part. It has an engine in the front, and it has a fucking rocket engine in the back.
Yeah, that little Challenger would have been set on fire. How did you feel about the Challenger? How do you feel about the Batmobile?
I think it looks gritty, and this Gotham is very post-apocalyptic in a way, and it gives a post-apocalyptic vibes, like cobbled together vibes.
Yeah.
So I like it. I don't hate it.
I don't know how I feel. It's been brought to me 100 times.
It looks a lot better in the dark than it does in the light.
Okay. How about it's been brought to my attention 100 times that in the Dark Knight movie, that nigga's driving a fucking tank and he's killing everybody that tank is rolling over. So that does not make any bit of sense. So it makes sense that he's driving a real car, like a real car where you can maneuver through traffic. That bitch look like, as I'm saying this, I've always got it. This is year 2. That bitch look like a fixer-upper.
Well, he built it by hand.
Yeah.
He doesn't have, what's the guy who builds his stuff?
Lucius.
I don't think he has Lucius yet.
True. I was about to say, like, that bitch look like DIY Batmobile. When that shit flashed, so when we seen it, he was, him and Catwoman was getting shot at by Penguin and his goons. Bro, I thought that was the Riddler for a little bit of that. Is that the Batmobile? Is that the Riddler? What the fuck is that?
As soon as I saw the flames coming out of it, I was like, oh, that's the Batmobile.
And that's why I assumed, because that's been the marketing for the Batman, like that little flame. That's the only reason I assumed. But like as they're doing close-ups on the car, Riddler? That bitch is a normal car.
But it makes sense for year 2 Batman to
Yeah.
take a normal car and turn it into a fucking tank.
Yeah.
With a jet engine.
But I do love the fact that he really rode the Bat cycle
For
more.
most of the,
Because he
that's
can get
more realistic than a
car. And he's able to get by. I gotta point this out. I like Batman. And I like the character is that he's mastered everything that humans really can. But in the beginning, when that nigga rolled that shit down the stairs, stop the cat.
You can ride a bike down the stairs. My thing was, I was like, you do that every time you come home?
That's the plan to do that.
I was like, my God, you can't just, you don't have like a regular bat entrance. You don't got the cave in his toe. Okay.
Like, it looks good for the first time. Nigga, what if like you break your arm or something? How do you drive the car back?
Take the car entrance. What are you doing?
Like that's the only thing I had to say. Stop.
Maybe that's the back. Maybe that's the back way. He's on the back side of the cave, so he had to like, all right, I'm gonna go through this way.
Ooh, shit! Like
that's funny though.
You feel me? It's like, and I know that people can. I know people's gonna be like, you can drive that shit down. But they ain't doing it every time. We know that he goes Batman every night. One thing that I did like, he was Batman during the day as well. So like he didn't have a restriction. So the nigga does it every day. He's gonna fuck up once.
I did see that scene. Now I was like,
Ooh,
just down the stairs. Just down the. Okay, all right,
bro. It's just it was the sheer just fluid motion.
Nah, so
and then he just
took the curve and just
nigga didn't stop when he hit the ground or nothing. It was just like that nigga went down a hill. Like it was nothing.
I guess that shows that he's done it a few times.
Ooh. But one other emphasis I want to put on the story, they took a bunch of B-tier characters and made them amazing. It's been a while since I've seen somebody like Falcone play a huge part because, well, when Batman gets going, how does a mob boss compare to a nigga that freezes stuff, a clown that's batshit crazy, fucking clay faces? How does a mob boss really, differentiate themselves? So,
but I like what they're doing because they're making it. This is what they did with like Iron Man and Captain America. Even though Captain America is a little bit more bombastic than Iron Man was, even though Iron Man, the first few villains of Iron Man are very believable. Like they're people who could actually be a real villain in a world that an Iron Man suit works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it was good that they started off with people who are believable in the universe that we could already be living in.
Yeah.
And then slowly build up to a more extraordinary villains, if that's the route you're gonna take.
I think that's what makes the story so impeccable because we see that they obviously started at the beginning so that they can build towards the end, and so that's how I feel like. So to the part of the stories where he wasn't sharp as it, he really didn't solve most of the Riddler's clues. He solved it at face value, but most of the clues it took another person with him to solve. So he's not the world's greatest detective yet.
Yeah.
And well, they even made reference to that when the Penguin called him, "You're not the world's greatest detective. Look at you, and you got the wrong nigga." Like, and so it was like so you do need to be a little sharper. That you can't just kidnap people because they're kind of dirty. Like you actually can't do that. some of the fight scenes where he was sloppy. Not that the scene was sloppy, but he took way more hits than what he should have. Even towards the end, he took a whole lot more gunfire than what shit. I mean, I know you're wearing damn bulletproof vest, but you shouldn't be taking shots like that to the chest, my boy.
And I'm gonna let you know now, just for realism's sake, bulletproof vests only really stop 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah.
After that, they are very much compromised. Very, very much compromised.
Yeah.
And every time you get hit, it's like getting kicked in the chest by a horse.
I did like that they showed that it hurt him.
Yeah.
And that's also where I was like, you can't do. I always give the benefit of the doubt that he's wearing literally the best bulletproof vest that you can.
It's probably the best shit ever.
Yeah.
But
like,
just,
that's hurting you. Why are you getting hit by like, boom, boom? Come on, bro. You can't do that. But he's great. He doesn't really have the greatest strategy. Mm-hmm. And his strategies in general really ain't
the best.
That great.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be if this is one of your first times doing stuff.
Your first big
crime.
Yeah.
So I like that they made him sloppy for stuff like this, because if they get to whatever their end goal is, I know that he will be refined. He'll be the Batman that can do everything on his own, because he's seen it all before.
Okay. Now I have predictions to ask you. Do you think they're going to bring in a Robin?
So I think so, yes. I think it's going to be the orphan of the mayor. Only because they introduced Bloodhaven, and that's where Robin becomes Nightwing.
God damn it.
It was added emphasis on a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah. I did not see that coming. And every time he thought of the Batman, he got so like into fucking Batman.
And just like Robin did before.
God damn, that's good.
Yeah, bro,
that's good.
That's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
What other movies do?
You were talking about I was talking about the seawall. You caught that. I didn't even catch that.
It was something I noticed. So even at the beginning, it was just, it was a one thing, but it was like at the funeral, a little bit. I have this sixth sense now for like added info. Then we see them again, and it's at the end of the movie when the ship was going to shit, when the seawall was breaking. Mm-hmm. Oh, added emphasis again on him. He's gonna play a role in something like.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be like a hostage, or like he was gonna be like that's what. But the first time they saw him, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a hostage. But it's also like he's Batman seeing himself in the kid, because now his dad's dead. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's what I was seeing in it. But yeah, they could easily turn that kid into the Robin.
And I only think so also because they introduced Bloodhaven, and everybody knows that's where Robin #1 goes to fight crime as Nightwing. So maybe they introduced it selectively for Selena Kyle in her movie, if that Catwoman movie is her movie. There's a lot of unknowns we're talking about now. But for me, you went through a lot of trouble to introduce. It's like if you introduced Gotham but didn't have Batman. What are you doing? Nightwing is the Batman of Bloodhaven. So there was emphasis. I feel like we're going to see Bloodhaven again. And I think there's a Robin. Did you think beforehand that there was going to be one?
I figure if they did introduce a Robin, it would be in like movie 3. But now, if they do like a time skip, they could easily make that boy Robin. Cause I was like, who's gonna play Robin? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna be Dick Grayson? But maybe they'll go a different route with no Dick Grayson.
Part of me wants to see a Robin because now we've seen plenty of Batman, and they haven't had a Robin. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like Robin now would be able to give... Robin would be able to extend movie franchise, because you can just have a Robin movie, and Robin can eventually become Nightwing.
Or even just a Nightwing movie.
Yeah.
Just do one Robin movie and then a Nightwing movie.
Yeah.
And be totally fine.
And then you could do the dynamic of Bruce Wayne and Robin just differently. Like, we've seen Batman by himself before. And I think the only time we've seen Robin is with Adam West. But all of us agree that that's a funny Batman. Mm-hmm. But it's not really. Yeah, it's not really Batman. So, I think a greedy Robin works. You could actually really tell the tale of Bruce needing people but being afraid to need people and treating Robin like shit, because that's theoretically what he treats him like shit because he's afraid to need them.
Yeah, he's also afraid to lose them.
Yep.
That's really why he treats him like shit, because he doesn't want to lose them.
And so it's like that tells a good. If I was doing it and they did the movie better than what I could even do, so I would have made this movie shit. But if I was doing it, I would have Robin appear in a few movies, but then eventually just get sick. And what happens in the comics, he just gets sick of Bruce's shit and leave. So his first spinoff movie would be Nightwing, because that's when he's finally on his own. That's how I would do it. So like Robin appear next movie, maybe at the end for training. And then the third movie they're actually together, and that's when the fallout happens after a time split, because we've already set up that first movie, oh, he could be Robin. Second movie, he went to go seek the training. Third movie, they've been in it for a little bit and he's sick of his shit and out. Now, for all we know, maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe the kid is just emphasis on the kid for some weird reason.
Maybe it's just like the parallels between him and his and Batman, you know.
Yeah.
The parallels of losing a father who's kind of corrupt.
I was going, before we saw the cliffhanger, I was going to ask, who do you think the new villain in the next movie is? I'll rephrase it. Do you think the Joker should have been introduced in that way?
A teaser?
Just the way he was, just injured, like he was already in Arkham.
Yeah. I think that's I think that was kind of the best way, just so in the next movie we can get his backstory, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that definitely set it up for us to be excited for the next movie, already build that hype for the next movie. Now who are they going to get to play Joker? That's the question.
And I can't even tell I can't tell the outline of that guy's head. Like there's nothing that I've really seen before.
I feel like it was like his face was like real cartoony behind the thing.
Yeah.
And I think they did that just so that you can tell it's the Joker.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't go that route. I hope they don't make him super cartoony. I think but you know, like how in even in the first Avengers movie they had Thanos and he was like real blue. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever they do a teaser of a bad guy, they always make him a little bit more over the top than they have to be.
They did retcon that shit quickly on Thanos' ass.
They made it look better. But they also got a permanent actor to play him. They didn't really have an actor to play him. They just had a voice actor. True.
Cards on the table. I didn't have no problem with it, but I think Joker could have been introduced in a bunch of ways. I don't think it's going to be explained, but it doesn't make sense to me why he's already in.
But there is it's a gang of people wearing clown makeup, so maybe that's the clown gang.
So I did see that, and maybe they've already imitating what Joker's done.
Yeah, maybe he's in there because he got busted for running the clown gang.
True. It's like
they did foreshadow him.
It was nothing bad. Like it wasn't a bad reveal, but I think based off of everything that they done, it could have been a better reveal. If that makes I'm arguing over something that's nothing. Mm-hmm. For the movie that I loved, I just liked it. Like I just liked the Joker part.
And I think it's one of those things where you always are really rough on the bad parts of a good movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Man, maybe this is being me overly nerdy. I think I would have liked. Once again, this is 20. We know for facts that already in this universe, there's already 20 years of history going on. I think I would have liked for Batman to make the Joker this time. So I think I would have really loved if they foreshadowed him as one of Falcone goons. But once again, that's probably could have happened before.
Yeah, they actually might go back and do that.
Yeah, because this is year 2, so he probably did it year 1.
He could have did it year 1.
Which, now that we mention it, this is so weird. They did year 2, so now they got a bunch of flashback history that they can pull from year 1 that we never seen of him fucking up a lot worse. Because Batman even says his biggest fuck up is letting the nigga fall into the vat, which is funny. because Joker doesn't remember that. So like he can't say it, and Batman doesn't know that it was the Joker that fell into the vat. So that one thing altered both their lives, but they don't know that each other is like responsible for it. So like he always says that's his biggest regret is being Batman. So that's probably a year one fuck up that he regrets to the fullest.
Which would totally make sense.
Yeah. But going forward, how far do you... So this is the huge thing. Do you think this is the start of their DCEU? Like...
A restart of the DCEU?
Yeah. Because most people would say Suicide Squad is, but...
I think they're going to roll that new Suicide Squad into this. And that's going to be like a sequel to this. This is kind of like a prequel. This is kind of, beforehand. I think they're definitely going to roll... I think they're gonna have to roll the new Flash. Here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have Flash travel. He's gonna go back in time because that movie's gonna be a Flashpoint movie. He's gonna go back in time. He's gonna change shit, and things aren't gonna be the same when he comes back. He's gonna be in Robert Pattinson's universe because I think he's still on a five movie contract.
Something good like
that. So they have him pretty locked in. They're gonna get a new Cyborg because they voided his contract because they didn't produce a movie for him in time. Aquaman's gonna end up in this universe. I think this is gonna be the start of the new the DCEU. I think
it is, but I think that's why it's gonna fail. The one thing,
if they keep it, if they make it, if they follow the Marvel format, right?
The early beginnings one, like
like don't jump straight into a Justice League movie.
Yeah,
you have to build your characters, build the following, establish yourself. Like so, do 3 Iron Mans, or at least 2 Iron Mans. Or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. 2 Batmans before you do a team-up movie.
Yeah.
And if you do a team-up movie, don't get the whole team together.
Yep.
Get 2 or 3, tease the 4th, you know what I'm saying? Good to go.
That's a great idea, but one, I know they're not going to do that because they're too antsy. They're playing catch-up with Marvel so badly. They're trying to skip over... Oh, it took us 6 movies to build this up. Fuck it. We're going to put all 6 of those movies into one.
But then you get fucking Batman versus Superman, and it's trash.
And so, this is secretly so. There is one thing that I don't like about the Marvel movies, and since they got their formula, it's never going to change. Mm-hmm. But it's, Marvel movies really don't know how to use B-tier characters, mainly because they use all-star cast of people.
Not
so,
really.
like, Spider-Man No Way From Home. If you think long and hard, Tom Holland's rarely fought any of his own villains. Now, we're going to go to Mysterio, but like, in the first Spider-Man movie, who did he face? Well, there was no first one.
Yeah, in No Way Home? No Way Home. Homecoming. He fought the Vulture.
Oh, he did fight the Vulture.
In the second movie, he fights
Mysterio. But then it's just like...
And then in the third movie, it's a multiverse movie.
And most people be like, "Oh yeah, this is Tom Holland's best movie." So the movie with the other pre-established villains, but then and I'm not mad at that, but I feel like Marvel gets the most out of just putting everybody together. But the reason why I like this Batman is that me and you just went over like 5 or 6 movies that can be had just with these characters. You have room for Selena Kyle to be the star. You have room for Robin to be the star. Like that's what I like about it, and I don't ever see like a Marvel movie per se doing that. But when DC shoehorned Superman, or they shoehorn the Flash, they shoehorn this. What's going to happen to the characters? What's going to happen to Selena Kyle? What's going to happen to Robin when all this happens? Like they're going to fall to the wayside for the Man of Steel. They're going to fall to the wayside for the Flash. I just don't want to see that.
But even in the comic books, they take a you know, a lower standing in the order of importance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like, I have no problem with keeping certain characters. Like you can't make Daredevil end of the world kind of superhero. He's a boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He's specifically Hell's Kitchen superhero.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, Catwoman and Robin are a boots on the ground anti-hero superhero kind of characters.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's the point of having them. Even Batman is not really, and I know that they make him it's only because he's so fucking popular. But realistically,
they have to do so much extra smoke and mirrors to.
They have to give him so many power ups and a super suit. He's damn near Iron Man in a bat suit.
And that's why team up movies. Well, in this facet, that's why I'm like, they're going to do it, but I'm so against it because they prove like nobody can now hit me with the what type of villains they got. Falcone and made that nigga a damn good like. They have enough villains in their universe to where they can be boots on the ground and still be viable. But yeah, when you link up with Superman and fucking face Doomsday, you can't really go back to a mob boss. Like once you do it, there's never any going back. And that's how I know they're going to fuck up. They're going to shoehorn it in too quick. I guess for me, you can milk it. So this is what I would do. I'm not going to hold you. I will go through with our Robin plan. And I want to have Robin break off. He can be Nightwing or he can be Robin. And that's when he starts the Teen Titans. It's going to be just like the cartoon, how it started. He switches over to Bloodhaven. I think the Teen Titans was in Bloodhaven.
No, Teen Titans set in Jump City.
Oh, Jump City?
It's set in San Francisco.
Hey, he can go wherever and then link up like in the same way. And then do the Teen Titans thing. So then now you've given...
But even in Teen Titans, Robin's washed.
If you don't go superhero too, like if you don't go to Starfire's villains too fast, because like the Slade thing, Slade was getting all their asses.
I mean, yeah,
but boots to the ground. But it's like so now you've made a Robin movie, and now he has movies to go with the Teen Titans. I think they can get 1 or 2 Catwoman movies out of her. Plus, however, Batman movies we got. We just listed about 6 or 7 of them shits from these niggas that would not have been possible if. You shoehorn the other villains into. The other heroes. The
only reason I'm saying that they're gonna have to do it is because these people already have contracts.
Oh yeah, for facts. That's one of those things. It's like it's gonna happen because
you can establish them into your universe, but not have them team up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They established Captain America, and they established. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They established the Hulk. They established all these people in the Iron Man universe, the Marvel universe, but they did not have them team up yet. They might have had references or cameos, but they were not teaming up yet. And
that is what I need. It also what gets me, and I've seen a meme of this, and it's so funny. It was like it was like an Avengers movie. The world is about to end, but then when the nigga has his own side movie, it's just him at the bar. This is nice. Like, what the fuck are you doing when the world is ending? I know you saw that meteor about to come hit the motherfucking... You telling me you was chilling this whole time, nigga?
Right.
And it's like, I get... That started overthinking, because it's like, bro, they out there doing their own thing. And it's like, we know the reason why they did. It was going to be too much niggas in one movie. But it's just like...
Every movie be the Avengers.
Yeah.
But I think the perfect example of this in the Marvel Universe as of recent times is the Eternals. So you tell me Doctor Strange, Falcon, Winter Soldier, they weren't giving a fuck while this was going on.
Doctor Strange is my biggest pet peeve. But a lot of shit be happening. You just be allowing that shit. And I'm not saying like he's supposed to stop it beforehand.
You can at least fight it.
Yeah, but say so you can show up to help after the shit happens. Good job. And Shang-Chi at the end, bro, we need to talk. You don't want to talk to the niggas before the world almost ended. How about you have stopped that nigga's daddy from going crazy? But it's like that'd be the weird stuff of just like, damn, bro, where's Superman at? These niggas doing that, bro. We just saw Superman last movie. What the fuck you doing, nigga? They need you. just from a writing perspective, and I know I can tell how Marvel does it. It's hard for them because like they constantly have to send Miss Marvel or she's Captain Marvel, right? No, Miss Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
They constantly send her to the other side of the galaxy to give her a reason of not being there for fights
because she's the Avenger of the universe.
Yeah,
so she has to defend the entire universe, not just Earth.
They sent Thor with the Guardians to give a reason why he doesn't just whoop everybody ass on Earth.
That's why he's always that's what if you ever notice, he's always gone in movies.
Yep, they sent for all his movies they sent him back home. That shit got blown up, but now he's wandering in space at the start of Infinity War, because if he's on Earth he puts an end to most of that shit anyway. So it's like, and they do that, and I remember I was talking to somebody and they did notice this, but it's like, yeah, you kind of have to keep them broken up to make it make sense while they're losing. Even as watered down as what they made Hulk, him combined with the rest of the Avengers is just too much. But you see, they constantly have to single Hulk away to make it make sense why he loses, even the watered down version. So just from a writing standpoint, I think it would be easy. Like, you know, we're going to love to see it. Like, seeing the Avengers the first time was the most amazing thing. Seeing them fight Thanos the first time was amazing. But it's just like, you know, once after you do it, it creates a bunch of logistical problems.
Yep.
That you got to write yourself out. Like, it just makes it a little harder. I mean, they're going to do it, but why can't we just have good movies? Like, why can't you just make good movies for the sake of making good movies? Stop competing with Marvel, because they got this movie shit locked down. Just do what you do best. This Batman movie's not going to translate well with Superman. We talked about this in the car. This dark, gritty thing is not going to... I don't know if you noticed this. Them niggas did not wear one single type of, like, bright color. I'm not talking like, oh, they were supposed to. I didn't see one nigga wearing red in that damn thing. I'm not talking...
No, Falcone had red glasses.
They were red?
Yeah, he had a pair of shades and had like a reddish tint on the shades.
Or like a nigga was not wearing a dark yellow shirt. Like them niggas was literally always wearing black.
Dark colors the whole time.
Superman could not do that. Like,
it fits the mood of Gotham. Gotham's supposed to be this dark, gritty city.
Oh, 100%. That's why I was like, this works. But when you try to mix other people in, that's why it don't work.
So, but I think there's a way to write it to make it work. If you're doing like a gritty side versus the bright, shiny side, like, you know what I'm saying, you can play those two dynamics of the roles. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Batman being the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, and then, you know, Superman being Jesus. It works.
And it's weird that I'm bringing this up, and it's like, this is some weird dynamic that I've never noticed in the animated series. You know, like, for facts, you know, Batman animated series was darker than anything, but he messed well with the Justice League. Like, they did it. It's a cartoon. But you can fuck a cartoon up if you're not careful. They just did it right somehow.
They didn't make him so gritty. Yeah. That's how they did it. They didn't make him so dark and gritty.
But he was still Batman. Like, he was still
Batman.
Yeah. So,
but I think your expectations are different when you're watching a cartoon and when you're watching real life. You're watching like a live action. You know what I'm saying?
I went back and watched Justice League just because I had time. Just because, like, I wonder if it holds up.
Or the full.
I don't really like Unlimited.
Yeah, Unlimited's way better than the first. It's all one storyline, but yeah, Unlimited's way better.
But it's bound to happen. We see it happening, but I guess from a starting point, and I like Suicide Squad, but this is your definitive starting point. It's no shame in it. I feel like we're towards the end of the time, so if you had to rate it out of 10, what are we looking at?
9.5 out of 10. Maybe a 9.8.
I'm going to go 9.7. And it might, if you hear from me again and I watch this again, this might be the best Batman movie of all time. Best callbacks was impeccable.
Yeah, it's really great. But before we forget, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Any support is good support. Help us with the algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't, I catch you with an eighth of breaking your arm.
If you jaywalk and I catch you, motherfucker,
it's over for
it's
you.
over for you.
You're gonna be dangling by your drawers, I promise. And we out.
We out.